My name is Alexis Kelly, and for my portion of the presentation, I covered the LGBTQ community in prison. According to the Sentencing Project, 200,000 individuals self-identify as lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or other labels under this community in prison, 130,000 of them being adults, and over 7,000 of them being minors. Some of the reasons for this number being so high is the discrimination, poverty, and homelessness that the LGBTQ community faces. According to the Prison Policy Initiative, 15% of prison inmates were homeless before becoming arrested, and according to this graph, 40% of homeless youth identify as LGBTQ. The reason that this number is so high is that there's a 46% chance that when a child comes out to their parents, they will be kicked out and forced to live on the streets. Overall, there's an 80% chance that homeless youth will use drugs in some form during their lifetime, and an 85% chance that they will be arrested because of this. Besides the fact that they are more likely to be given harsher sentences than their cisgender and heterosexual peers, the three largest threats that the LGBTQ community faces while in prison is physical violence, verbal threats, and sexual assault. In prison, there is already a 46% chance that an inmate will be sexually assaulted, and a transgender individual is 13 times more likely to be sexually assaulted. This is because a transgender woman is oftentimes held in a male facility and is subjected to strip searches that her peers are not. These strip searches are always performed by cisgender men and lead to 5% of the 12% of unreported sexual assault by staff members to occur. As for what to do to help with this, there was an act created in 2003 called PREA, Prison Rape Elimination Act. It was created to help vulnerable populations such as minors in adult facility and LGBTQ individuals in prison. However, in the 20 years that it's been enacted, it hasn't done all that much to help anyone, and it wasn't written out very well. It's kind of just there, honestly. As for a broader way that the system has tried to help LGBTQ individuals, there are some prisons that have what they call gay wards. The term is outdated because the study I looked at was a California prison from 2009. In this study, they held gender nonconforming individuals in a different ward than the cisgender and heterosexual individuals because they believed it would make them safer. However, this wasn't as safe as well, and it wasn't the right thing to do either, because there were cisgender and heterosexual individuals who tried to get into the spaces. They either thought that it was safer and better for them than general population, or they were wanting to harm the LGBTQ individuals in there. And it was also very discriminatory towards individuals who may have been LGBTQ and needed protection. However, they couldn't have gotten it because of the discriminatory surveys that they would give. They would give questionnaires before the individuals were able to access this ward about clothing, magazines, clubs, makeups, artists, different things like that. And if you weren't aware of them, then you weren't going to be able to get into the ward. In some other prisons, they tried holding gender nonconforming individuals in solitary confinement because they thought that would keep them safer from general population of cisgender and heterosexual individuals. But as it's already known, solitary confinement is not good for anyone. It destroys their mental health, and the LGBTQ community, particularly transgender individuals, are more likely to be susceptible to mental health issues due to discrimination and societal impact that they face. As for what I think the best option to do is that transgender women should have the access to the women's facilities, the prison facilities, so that there will be less cases of sexual assault and they would have a community of women surrounding them. As for a broader spectrum, I think that we need more guards who are willing to protect the queer community and who pay more attention to who's hurting who's beating up on who. And that's really how I think we should help it. And as for my video, this is a video of a transgender woman named Kat, and she describes how she survived being in prison in an all-males facility.
Hi, I'm Kat. I've had a pretty decent week. I had one little incident that kind of perturbed me a little yesterday, and now
I don't think I can ever really say I feel safe in prison. And in my first prison, I got raped. And I immediately cut all my hair off, grew facial hair.
So we were showering yesterday, and someone thought it was appropriate to come to the shower to start talking to us about different things while we're in the shower, a staff member. So much so to call me out of the shower to come over to the door to talk to her.
Did you invite them in?
No.
For me, with each prison, I just became more aggressive, more masculine, and more brash, more rude. I got into more problems than I needed, but it kept me from having to worry about getting raped.